2822 Now presents Newsmakers with your host, Jane Ann Bugda.
Hello and welcome to Newsmakers. I'm Jane Ann Bugda. I have a great show for you today because we're taking a closer look at the work of Volunteers of America in our area. They have been part of our community for decades and they touch many lives. And today I am joined by Crystal Kotlowski. She is the Chief Operating Officer for the Volunteers of America of Pennsylvania. Crystal, thank you for being with me today. You've been with Volunteers of America for a number of years now. Mm-hmm. How long have you been there?
I've been with the organization for over 13 years now, so a long time.
It is a long time because when we first met you, you were overseeing the Roost Place.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about Volunteers of America. Give us a little bit of the history of the organization.
Yeah, so Volunteers of America is actually turning 130 years old this year. It's a very, very old organization. And we're the Pennsylvania affiliate, and we are just as old as the national office. We're the second oldest affiliate. Volunteers of America's mission formed really to, at the time when it started, they would say, do whatever is needed, whatever comes to hand. And that's sort of how we've continued to function through these 130 odd years. And that's why sometimes there's a disconnect in the community about our programming. A lot of the programs, people don't always connect them to Volunteers of America as the parent organization.
And that's why we're here today. We're going to try to have people understand the vital role that Volunteers of America plays in our community. And I think people are going to be surprised about the number of organizations that fall under VOA. What areas do you serve right now?
So Volunteers of America Pennsylvania's work breaks down into really four main geographic areas. So we have the Northeast, which is here. We also have Lehigh Valley near Allentown. We have Central Pennsylvania around Harrisburg. We also have Southwestern Pennsylvania around Pittsburgh. Those are our main areas where we're operating.
And when I know you've been in this for now 13 years, you said, and are you surprised at the number of services when people say to you, are they surprised the number of services VOA offers?
Yeah, always.
And
yes.
Is there a common question that you're asked by people when they say, what is Volunteers of America?
Definitely. The top question we get asked a lot is, are we all volunteers? And no, spoiler alert, we're not. Back when Volunteers of America started in the late 1800s, the word volunteer meant something a little different. At that time, it was a person who dedicated their life to a mission of service to others. So that's where the name Volunteers of America originates.
And you're still dedicating, because your group is very dedicated to helping the community. And I think one of the most recognizable, I guess, elements of Volunteers of America is Roost Place. It's the 24/7 women's shelter in our area. So tell us a little bit about Roost Place. And boy, I guess when it first started many years ago, people thought, do we really need a women's shelter? We do.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about Roost Place.
Yeah, Roost Place is a really, really beautiful program. And like you said, the most recognizable in this area. It's the only 24/7 emergency shelter in Luzerne County, and it's dedicated to serving women who are experiencing homelessness for any and all reasons. Women find themselves homeless going through job loss, emergencies, medical emergencies, house fires. A lot of us could wake up tomorrow and our lives can look completely different. So the shelter is there to support those women who need some place to turn. We offer 25 beds year-round. We do go up to 30 in the cold winter months. And women receive more than just a bed at Roost Place. They receive wraparound supports, case management, and personalized goal planning and assistance to move them on. So we're grateful to have been able to serve thousands of women in our community since we started in 2003. And in 2014, the shelter merged with Volunteers of America to be one of our projects.
And it has grown, like you had mentioned. I think when everybody first thought of the concept of a woman's shelter, do we need this? And boy, as you said, you've touched so many lives. And like you said, anybody can be a heartbeat away from not having shelter or losing a job. And I think it's important to note, like how you said, how many women you've helped and how you, like you said, wrap themselves around them and help them with job support and getting apartments. And what do the women say when they're down there? Are they, how grateful are they to have some place like Ruth's Place to come to?
There's definitely a lot of gratitude in the room. There's definitely a lot of, peer support building amongst each other in that environment. It's definitely a tight space, but I think the women there understand that it kind of needs to be to make sure that there's a bed for everyone who needs it that night.
And you also now recently opened Brian's Place. What is Brian's Place?
Brian's Place is another beautiful program. It's named after Brian Johns, who was Volunteers of America's first street outreach worker in the community. And it was really his vision to have a place where people can, receive the compassion and support they need. So the Brian's Place is sort of a complex, and there are two distinct operations happening there. One is 5 one-bedroom units of affordable permanent housing that are available to low-income individuals in our community. But also, Brian's Place hosts the Respite Center, which offers daytime recuperative care shelter space, particularly for men who are experiencing homelessness. They don't have a daytime shelter at the moment in Luzerne County like women do in Ruth's Place. But the program is primarily looking to offer that daytime support to men who are medically fragile. So people who are experiencing ambulatory issues or severe chronic conditions that are really, really at an elevated risk being unsheltered during the daytime hours, they can find that support and shelter at the Respite Center at Brian's Place. And there they will receive the same level of wraparound support that women do at Ruth's Place.
And I think it's important to note that, even though we think we're in the cold months, these shelters go all year long. And there's a need for shelter, not only in the winter, but also spring, summer, and fall.
Yeah.
And because homelessness does not go away. But I think one of the touching ceremonies that Volunteers of America has every year is on the longest night, which is the first day of winter. And you remember the people who called this home,
Yeah.
the street their home. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we're honored to make sure that this tradition keeps going on. We partner with St. Stephen's Episcopal Church right here on South Franklin to make sure that we take that moment, the longest, darkest, coldest night of the year, to really put ourselves in someone else's shoes, for one, acknowledging the issue in our community of homelessness and what that feels like, what that literally feels like when it's so cold. But also remembering people obviously have been in this field a long time, and so it's sad to see so many more names every year. People I know, we add about 5 names of people who were a part of this little community of ours who have passed on. But it's important that we take that time
To remember.
yeah.
And it is, and you're right, and it's nice to know that you've become their family and becoming there are people that have looked out for them. I know as we're moving on here, one of the we were preparing before the show, and you mentioned a program that I think a lot of people may not be aware is maternal health services.
Yeah.
That is growing for Volunteers of America. And what is that, and what is the criteria?
Yeah, our maternal health services are booming right now. So Volunteers of America Pennsylvania's work can kind of fall into 3 distinct buckets. There's homelessness and housing work that we do, a lot of that, but also there's a lot of health-focused work that we do, and a lot of work focused on serving children, youth, and their families. So our maternal services started here over 20 years ago in Luzerne County, and it's pretty much a service that offers moms who find themselves pregnant or with children up to 18 months of age. We've recently extended to 2 years. They can find a village when they don't have one. You know, we have a baby pantry that offers some tangible support, but we also offer that case management, service navigation, safety checks, early childhood development, milestones, monitoring, making sure they're getting to their appointments. We want to see families at that beginning stage when babies are coming be able to flourish and bond and have, you know, all their needs met and live healthy, fulfilled lives. So that's grown tremendously from before the pandemic, serving, you know, maybe 50 families a year to now over 500 families a year.
Wow.
Yes.
Boy, that has really grown.
Yes, we've moved it into the Lehigh Valley, we moved it into the Southwest area, and now we're moving it into the Central region as well.
So I guess I was just going to ask, have you seen the need grow of all these programs? And I guess you certainly have. Did you see it more after the pandemic, or has it been growing steadily?
It's been growing steadily. I think there's been a renewed focus on maternal health outcomes, especially for Black and brown mothers. It's abysmal, the difference in care that they receive and the difference in their outcomes. And we want to be an advocate for them and help them overcome those systemic challenges.
How do they find out about the services?
A lot of people refer to us through friends and family, especially in maternal services. But a lot of people will find us through, you know, PA Navigate, Find Help, digital resources where we're listed, through 211, Helpline, the internet. You know, Roost Place is the first result when you look up that you're homeless in our community.
So that's how you're finding. And just once again, the criteria for the maternal health, is there what is the criteria?
Really no criteria, just pregnant or with a child under 2 years old.
And I guess a lot of the mothers grateful that you're there for the guidance and the help and the support. The other surprising aspect of Volunteers of America that we learned about was the food pantry, and that's growing as well. So tell us a little bit about the food pantry.
Yeah, we have our food pantry at our River Street office Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 to 2. It's walk-in. You don't have to bring anything. We just take a little bit of information from you, and then you can receive the food. But that has grown dramatically, similarly to maternal services, going from serving maybe 80 households a month to over 800. You know, so the need is rising for food, for items, for support, just constantly in all avenues, in all different populations. And the mission of Volunteers of America boils down to doing what the communities need. So what we do here in the Northeast looks different from what we do in the Southwest, but we respond.
And we want to put up the information on the screen for anyone that's looking for help or for more information on the program. I'll have this information for you on 2822news.com under the Newsmakers link, and there you'll be able to find different links to Volunteers of America, and you'll also find the phone numbers and the additional information for today's show. Also, their Facebook page, very active, so people can go on there too and learn about you. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the many services VOA offers teens and young people in our region and learn more about how they're funded and how you can become a volunteer. You're watching Newsmakers. I'm Jane Ann Bugda. We'll be back right after this.
2822 Now presents Newsmakers with your host, Jane Ann Bugda. .2822 Now presents Newsmakers with your host, Jane Ann Bugda.
Welcome back to Newsmakers. I'm Jane Ann Bugda. Crystal Kotlowski is my guest today. She's with Volunteers of America, Pennsylvania, and she's the Chief Operating Officer. And we're talking about the number of programs and services that fall under the guise of Volunteers of America. And the program list goes on and on and on. And we talked a lot about Ruth's Place and homeless and maternal health services, food pantry, but you also help teens and young people through a program at Manna House. So tell us a little bit about Manna House.
Yes, Manna House is a transitional housing program that that resides on our River Street office here in Wilkes-Barre. It offers 8 apartment units to youth who are aged 18 to 24, and we're working with them. They're coming to us from shelters, out of foster care, homeless situations at such a young age. So we're really trying to catch them in that window, help them develop appropriate life skills, tenancy skills, put in place employment, and different things to make sure that they head off into adulthood on a better foot than where they are at that moment. So it's a really amazing program, especially because the apartments are comparable to the luxury apartments downtown, so they really are in a nice place to regroup, get on their feet, and start actually building their life. They're not necessarily rebuilding it like some of the people we work with in the shelter and outreach. They're just starting
Off. And they come from all across our region, the youngsters.
Yes.
And I think that's important because I don't believe a lot of people realize that is operating here in our area. And it's an important service that you offer. Another part of VOA is the Drug Awareness Day that's held every year. Very important to get the word out about that, and VOA is very active in that as well.
Yeah, so this year we helped host with our partner Michaeline's Mission the annual Overdose Awareness Day. This event had historically been hosted by a group of mothers who are grieving the losses of their children to overdose, and I think all of us in this community have been impacted deeply by the opioid epidemic, and the losses reverberate through the community. So we're very grateful to step up to the plate, take part in that event. Similarly to how we have with the Homeless Persons Memorial, these events are crucial to honoring these people who've lived through something like this and are no longer with us.
And helps their families to cope, and also helps bring a message to our community for people who are looking for help, where to find it. And I think you're right. It is a very important day. Your outreach is amazing throughout our community, and I don't believe that, like I said throughout the show, that people believe how many programs and services that VOA offers our community. Does Volunteers of America need volunteers?
Of course we do.
How do you volunteer? What can you do?
There are so many things because there are so many programs. If a certain population resonates with you, that you've been in someone's shoes and you want to give back via our baby pantry or give back via our food bank or Ruth's Place, or Give Hope, our street outreach service, you can join us in any of those capacities, in whatever capacity works for you. We have some dedicated volunteers at Ruth's Place and in our food bank that we rely on to be open, to operate. As a nonprofit, we have to really work for funding. So extra hands on deck is crucial to the mission.
So if someone's interested out there, they can just give you a call on your website. All right, we have the information on there for the website and your phone number, and they can just give you a call and say, hey, I'm looking to help out. And I'm sure there's a lot of students out there looking for student projects as well to get involved and to be part of the community.
Yeah, people do a lot of really amazing drives. We have a couple other annual events like Operation Backpack. We do back to school giveaway. We have Adopt a Family at the holidays where individuals adopt our families with the babies and shop for them. So there's a ton of ways that people can get involved, either really hands-on on site or, from a distance, whatever they have time for.
Right. And like I said, it's so gratifying when you're helping somebody else. And, as we're talking about all these programs, and there are a lot, how are you funded? Because nothing runs for nothing. So,
no, it doesn't.
Yeah, tell us how you're funded.
It's definitely a challenge, like I said, as a nonprofit. We have a lot of different funding streams, diverse funding streams, to make sure that all of these different things can stay afloat. We receive funding from all levels: federal, state, county, city, private foundations, private donors, corporate partners, and every dollar goes directly to serving all of these individuals, the families we serve, the individuals experiencing homelessness, the youth going to after-school programs, all of the above. Every penny goes back into our services.
And if someone wants to have a fundraiser, you welcome that, as you said before, as a volunteer effort. Let's talk a little bit about what you would like. Is there a program or a service that we currently do not offer in our region that you think you would like to have?
I would love to see our programs continue to grow, of course, the existing programs, because I think that they have so much more good to do. But I think one issue that's kind of overlooked sometimes is loneliness among seniors and senior isolation. Our aging population is booming, and we do a lot of mobile outreach, and I think that seniors are a group that need that mobile touch, needs to come to them, right? So we'd love to see us develop something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Do you work with the other areas and see what they're doing with
Yes.
your other programs? Is there anything they have that you think you like? Any of the other services?
I love in Pittsburgh we have the Youth Empowerment Project, which is an out of school time program. So they do after school and during the summer, and they engage kids from 5 years old to high school, and they have a lot of the older students do mentorship for the younger students, and it keeps the kids busy in a really productive environment. They do some side businesses like screen printing and 3D printing and things that give the kids like a unique experience, and I think it gives them a lot of hope for the future. I would love something like that in the Northeast. I think our youth needs something.
Something to bring them together. Well, that's on the wish list, and if somebody's out there and maybe somebody's watching and says, you know what, maybe we can help you start that program.
I would love it.
Give
Call me.
Crystal a call, right? There you go. You do have an upcoming fundraiser coming up. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the upcoming fundraiser is Spring into Hope, which is our third annual Spring into Hope for our Give Hope Street outreach service, which started in 2019 to get out into encampments and offer people the same type of support that individuals who enter shelters receive without them needing to take that step, because there's a lot of reasons people don't engage in the shelter system. But with that effort, we are always fundraising to make sure that individuals who are unsheltered have access to the supplies and resources they need to survive in the elements. So you can join us to Spring into Hope on Mardi Gras, Tuesday, February 17th at 6 o'clock at Sabatini's Bottle Shop and Bar. For a $30 ticket, you will receive unlimited Sabatini's pizza.
Oh, there you go.
3 drinks, and it would include a donation to the Give Hope program. So you can scan the QR code on the screen or check out VOAPA Give Hope Facebook page or Volunteers of America's Facebook page, and we have an event posted there. You can get some more information.
How do you feel when you see the look on the people's faces that you're helping and you know that you've made a difference in someone's life? What does that feel like for you? Because you've seen it through Ruth's Place, working closely with that, and now through overseeing all the programs.
I think it's just truly what keeps me going. It is so gratifying to see somebody overcome an obstacle and to play a role in helping them to do that. I think I'm just destined to help people no matter what. So it's been easy for me to grow from focusing on Ruth's Place to, finding the room in my heart for these other programs. And I hope that other people who maybe haven't given something like this a chance would reach out, stop by, visit, and see how good that can make your heart feel too, because it's so rewarding to give back.
And, we remind people that if they do have a question, if they do have a need, to give you a call. And if they do want to help out, also to give you a call. And they're there, someone's there all the time who do they talk to when they call Volunteers of America?
So different programs are available 24/7. So we also have a toll-free number you could reach out to that would direct you to wherever voicemail you need to go to. But Ruth's Place is an excellent resource 24/7 for anyone experiencing an emergency situation. They know you don't have to be a woman. You don't have to fit their service criteria. Every single one of our programs is designed to offer system navigation assistance. It's so complicated in the Northeast. Who do you go to for what? You know,
Right, exactly, right.
So we're here to help you. We're here to help you in any situation.
So if somebody has something, just call, and then they would direct you to who you need. I think you gave a wonderful overview of our programs in our area. What do you see for the future? Do you see something as you go on with your there? What do you hope?
I hope to see our communities thrive more. You know, I hope to see these social net programs like this continue to grow, because when one of us in the community does well, all of us do well. When one of us is struggling in the community, we struggle all as a result. So I would love to see in all of our communities just a continuing of rebuilding that community feeling.
So, Crystal, thank you for joining me today. We want to remind everyone that information on today's show is on 2822news.com. Under the Newsmakers link, you'll find the phone numbers. You'll find all the links to Volunteers of America services. Crystal, thank you for joining me today. You're a wonderful spokesperson, and I think we can tell that your heart is in what you do, and that is an asset to our community. So thank you for what you do. I also want to thank Matt Gronsky, Tony, and Gargiola for helping me with today's program, and the man behind the board, Joey Nardone. I'm Jane Ann Bugda. We thank you so much for making Newsmakers part of your day, and we'll talk again next time.
2822 Now presents Newsmakers with your host, Jane Ann Bugda.